Shut up, I'm trying to watch Judge Joe Brown.
Mayonnaise, Dijon. And I'm like, part of me is like, what is that?
Did you eat your pineapples today?
That's mine.
Get out.
But I had a green smoothie.
A detox.
Simple
Segregated
times. That's
what we
it.
need.
There was literally a hashtag that says for Michelle. I'm talking about Michelle Williams from Destiny Child. I was too busy using our house computer for porn. I didn't necessarily.
Bad AOL.
Right. I was not into watching the little pictures scroll in slowly. Like, oh, yes. And I know you are naked.
Get out.
Leave.
Right now. It's the end of your presidency.
What?
It's too late.
Late.
And we can't wait
You
for
lied.
you to be gone. Ooh. Who is that? That's the stylistic stylist of Coley back here for a bonus episode of Nights at the Round Table. What's good?
Bam.
Ow! Yes, y'all, we are out here. It's not a mirage. You're not dreaming. It's really us on a different day with some same shit, but some new shit. What up, fellas?
Reporting live from the outside of the press briefing room. Donald Trump just left. We were singing that to him as he walked by.
Reporting live from Maricopa County in the free speech zone.
Behind the fence.
Beyond the veil.
That's the gate. That is the gate. The gate is in
hilarious.
Arizona.
That's hilarious.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your girl Coley. Who all over here with me?
Yo, this your boy Esquire. I'm in the building one more time.
I feel like the newest CNN correspondent after as much CNN as I've watched over the last couple of
Yes.
days, but this is Naji.
Yes.
Naji CNN. That's gonna be my new tag.
Now you see that?
Not
Fantastic.
Naji CNN.
Hashtag. You heard it here first. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out here with a bonus episode, Nights at the Round Table. We had to stop in real quick because we have had a crazy, what is it, 72 hours, I guess?
It's been a long 72 years.
It's been
Wow.
a long time for us. We had to pop in really quick because things are crazy here in the world. By the time you hear this, things will probably still be crazy. So we're just going to jump in here
I hope not.
and put our
Well, there'll
bid
be
in.
mad lawsuits by that point.
I hope not.
We're going to put our bid in and just get in on the conversation. It is election week in America.
Month.
And it has been an absolute mess. So what you're about to hear is not a normal episode. Stay tuned for that coming for you next week. But we're just going to shoot the shit a little bit and talk about what's going on in the world because it's a mess and we got a lot of grievances we got to air. And the fact this is happening is real damn ridiculous. Before we get there, what am I drinking on? Because I'm alone. But my friends are not, they're not drinking with me, but they're not letting me drink alone. So I guess I'm not a drunk. And that's good.
Yes, we like to watch sometimes.
It's always fun to watch.
Voyeur alcoholism.
It's interesting.
Another day is
Well, it's too early for my real good tricks. So there's that. Shame on you.
Wow.
You won't see the good things.
Rizzo report back.
Maybe. So yeah, I'm drinking on some little bit of whiskey because I felt like that's what I needed for the week that we're having.
How many roses?
4 of them. 4 roses bourbon. Bourbon for
How
those
did
who.
you find that?
How did I find it?
Yes, besides for being in the ABC
I was
store.
about to go there. I followed the arrows.
Yes,
She walked this way down the aisle,
Yes.
and then that way back.
exactly.
No, it's one of the bourbons that a good friend of mine, shout out to the Comedy Arts Theater of Charlotte, he told me to try it out. And I finally gave it a shot, and I like it. It tastes very good. I'm drinking it with some bold ginger ale. It actually gives it a little bit of spice. So that's like, ooh.
I will be trying it before the night's over.
Please try it.
My
Have some.
cousin's been talking about 4 Roses legitimately for at least a year.
Really?
Yes.
He's talking about
Is
how
it
great
brand new?
it is. I don't know if it's
No.
brand new, but like I'd never heard of it until he told me about it, and he loves it.
Who make it?
The
4
brand is
Roses?
4 Roses. It's just one of the. It's like a bourbon versus like the whiskey that we would know. So it's not like your Jameson or your Seagrams or Jack Daniels. It's more definitely bourbon, and it's not something that you're going to order at the restaurant. It's more so for craft drinking or drinking it neat, or something like that.
Got you.
So
I
one of
accept
those
that.
things. But it is good. So shout out to you, Kev out there in the world. Thank you. I drank it and I like it and I will keep drinking it. So anyway, gentlemen, let's get to this shit.
Well, first off,
Ooh.
Esquire, what are you drinking on?
I am drinking some H2O.
It's high quality.
It's filtered straight out of Coley's fridge, so no fluoride in that for me. So
No additives.
very
No
very good.
mouthwash.
That's
Add
what
it
I
up.
needed.
Fantastic.
I too am drinking water, just because of timing. I didn't make a drink fast enough, and I didn't feel like trying to think of, so I needed some water. So
I wish
here we are.
you had more time.
I feel like with this election results and everything trying to come in, I didn't need to be drinking because then I feel like I was going to miss something and not remember it, and I don't want that to happen for me.
What are you talking about? You can't miss it. It's happening right in front of us, and actually, nothing's happening. We've been at this since this time yesterday.
We are currently watching John King play on his Apple/Samsung television.
Playing Operation.
Do y'all remember in 2008 when Obama got elected, they had like bust out the holograms? Like, whatever happened to that?
Bro, that election night, I was at a
freaky.
bar in Orlando, Florida, lit, and they were giving out free shots because they knew Obama was winning.
So you don't remember the holograms?
Hell no.
And that's
I
why
was
he
a
doesn't want
hologram.
to drink tonight.
Exactly.
All I know is that he won.
They legitimately,
and I was there to see it.
They legitimately, wherever Wolf was, they were every time they would make an announcement, they would beam Wolf in, and he was standing there like he was on Star Wars or some shit. Like, help me, Obi-Wan. And he was like, we have an election alert,
What?
and it's literally like he's like freezing up and stuff, and he's giving his election alert. He's a hologram, and I guess they got rid of it.
They didn't get rid of it. They put it in a basement, and then Kanye gave it to Kim for her birthday.
Got you.
So there's that.
Shout out to him.
But yes, so we're out here, people. The elections happened, and as we knew, the votes did not come in immediately, and we knew that. Well, those of us who pay attention knew that. Some people did not know that and still refused to accept that.
And some of those people include your president.
Right. The one who runs the government.
It was very known that we are in unprecedented times, so there are unprecedented processes for this election year. Mail-in ballots. What was it? What was the number? It was like 60 over 60 million. You're better with the numbers than me for the mail-in ballots that came in ahead of time. 90 million. What was it?
Actually, they said it was 90 million early votes, but all of that wasn't mail-in ballots.
It
That
was
was
just early
people
voting in
standing in
general.
line
Okay.
and everything like that. So,
but all of those are still not counted until after the fact. So
The ballots.
yes. So those, we had a lot of stuff that had to be taken into account, not just what happened on Tuesday. And we are watching our president unravel, and it's fantastic. It's probably the best he's ever been in these 4 years. This is probably my favorite version of Donald John Trump.
this is the first time I've ever seen Donald Jamarius Trump Jamarquez unraveling, but it's like nobody else is like being really affected by it. Like normally he'll get the wild night, you want to talk about it, but it's just like we are watching a slow burn or a slow fall to hell. So
It's just real. It's just not good. It was good, I guess. It's fun to watch.
I have never watched this much political anything in all of my days combined. However, these last 72 hours have been pure, unadulterated joy. It was
didn't start off like joy.
It was
It didn't
very
start
much
off
so
as joy.
nerve-wracking. I'm
Right.
not trying to jump all over the place. However, I do know that I was like a little nervous the first day, but I was like, whatever happens was going to happen. So it was out of my control. I did my part. I cast my vote. According to him, it was illegal. You
Right.
know, because I
So
mailed that
illegal.
bitch in.
How dare you do
How
that?
dare I,
How dare you
follow
mess
my
up democracy
rights.
with that
How
foolishness?
dare I utilize my rights
Goodness
to
gracious.
vote in the way that I see fit?
election night felt real different. It was almost that era of, is he going to do it again? You know, like from 2016. Because when I tell you Donald Trump leveled up and was like that last boss that you had to fight in the tournament style, he came with everything that he had that
In
night.
Streets of Rage.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Streets of Rage. Wow.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
He was the big tall one on stilts with those little claws. It was the twin brothers I was running around.
I haven't played Streets of Rage in a long time.
It's okay. I got it on PS3.
But I do remember, Buddy, the ones that had the little jackets and they had the little their collars pop and they be fighting from the side. I do
Up
remember
and down
that.
the screen.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes.
I can't. Sorry, the video games, I don't do them.
Me either. It's after Sega Genesis, apparently.
I will say what has gotten us through this foolishness since election night has been just the internet has been undefeated per usual, and I wanted to mention that because like it's just something that's kept us laughing. It's kept us informed, of course, but for me personally, it's been something that's kept me from losing my shit for the last few days. Just being able to kind of get some funny out of it and kind of just ease my mind, like watching the facts. Okay, this is what's happening, but then go on the Twitter and see people going off and doing whatever has been really fun for me. The internet's winning. You guys are doing a great job out there.
Yeah.
The internet started off not being funny like that. Maybe that first morning after the election, people were kind of like, "Ooh, what am I gonna say?" People was like reevaluating their stories when they were like, "Vote, should I go ahead and pull this down real quick?" Because I ain't trying to be made a fool of. And then after a while, when the mail-in ballots start rolling in, they're like, "Oh, now we can clown."
When the blue wave came through?
Yes, that blue wave of mail-in ballots came through.
When the wall was knocked down.
And built back up blue. The blue wall.
So it's just wild. And I think what's given this time, during this time, one of the things I've been thinking about, well, there's lots of things, but it's giving me a lot of time to think about how foolish all of this is. As we're seeing all these votes play out the way that they are and all the statistics that they're bringing in, all the conversation that is garnering up, all of the activity by those other people, the Trump supporters, it's bringing a lot of things to light about the country that we live in. I think the most, probably the most profound thing I've heard in the last few days is that even if Joe Biden is elected, he is going to be president in Donald Trump's America, because half of the people in this world and in this nation are still fucking with Donald Trump. So those are the people that he is going to be governing, as well as us who are on his side. But as we have seen in the last 4 years, they are quite ridiculous to manage. So,
well, I'll give. I'm only going to give one compliment to Donald Trump, and so when I say this is all I'm going to give. Shout out to Donald Trump, because I knew that Donald Trump was a force of nature, but he is legitimately a force of nature. Like leading up into this election, just to see him doing like 15, 16 rallies, like he legitimately off sheer willpower willed all those people out there to vote for him.
and that shot he got, that drip they gave him.
And that drip too. But I feel like even if he didn't even catch COVID, that was just, he is such a magnet for these people that's voting for him or that voted for him. He just pulled them out of the depths of wherever the hell they were from, because he expanded his vote count by higher margins than he had in 2016, like by almost 20 million votes.
He brought all of his minions from Mordor to bring Schmeagol and the rest of the motherfuckers out to vote for him. So shout out to that, because he did what he was supposed to do, and that's what he was supposed to do, was to get people to come out and vote for him that were going to vote for him, and he did just that.
I guess that's fine to give him that. You can give him that.
You know, but then I thought about it today. I was like, Donald Trump shot like a massive, you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, shot like a massive Kamehameha wave on election night, while Joe Biden is doing his spirit bomb, right? With these election or these ballots coming in slowly but surely, and they're picking up steam. So we'll see how that goes.
I mean, I think it's just it's a general testament overall to the different types of people that they are. Joe has been prepping and preparing his people all along with the truth and letting them know what they need to be doing and how things should be going. And we're responding in kind. We are sitting back. We are waiting for things to reveal themselves. And Trump's people are losing their shit because he has not prepared them for anything this entire time. And since they don't listen to anything that he says, he can get on TV today and spew the complete opposite of what he was spewing this side of a few weeks ago with the mail-in voting, and no one bats an eye because he's.
Well, they listen to everything that he says. That's the crazy part, because no matter what he says, even if it's a complete contradiction of what he said before, whatever he says in that moment is what they go with.
That's exactly right.
This is true.
It's just
and he was preparing them for this, because he was saying that the mail-in ballots were going to be steal the election. They were going to be fraud. So that's why they're running around talking about stop the count, stop the count,
stop the count,
stop the count.
Stop
counting.
Count.
Stop counting votes
in places where I'm ahead. But keep counting in places like Arizona, Nevada.
Right. We want to see those.
Pennsylvania needs to stop the fucking count.
Right.
Shout out to Pennsylvania. Shout out to Georgia. Y'all are coming through. They keep dropping these little pockets, and y'all are inching closer and closer. We appreciate y'all. We watching it right now. John King is telling us about it. It's happening.
Georgia is
3,400
votes away from going blue.
Well, wait a minute. So it's almost okay. It is about to go blue. So how many electoral votes does Kanye have?
Kanye doesn't have any.
I think he has like -3.
-3?
He owes the Electoral College some money.
Wow.
That's a part of his big debt snowball he's working on right now.
Right.
Yes, the Electoral College.
That's funny. Kanye and his nearly 60,000 votes across the 12 states that he was allowed to be on the ballot
Do you know
for.
what states those were?
One
Aside
of them
from
was
South Carolina?
Wyoming. That's.
Oh, okay.
I only know that because that's where he voted. But the others, I have not looked into it because I don't give this any type of attention in general.
I wonder if his wife, and most of those votes came from Kardashians. Let's be clear.
The 60,000?
Got to be because it's about that's,
Wow.
it's that
They're
many of
bots.
them. Yeah, they're bots. Bots voted
The babies
for him.
voted.
Wow. Kanye has won the Armenian vote
In Wyoming.
in Wyoming. The Armenian
This
vote.
just in.
Wow.
No,
the
that
Persian vote.
that is really wild.
The
to me. I
Armenian.
would
Same. It's New Persia.
New Persia.
That's a new Persia.
That you've been watching the map show too long.
What's the new black?
I don't know, but where Persia used to be is basically where Armenia is now. I believe.
Really?
I believe so. Yes.
So that's almost like the Ethiopia Eritrea type thing.
No. It's almost like because there are some other places in Europe that were once one thing, like, and then over time it just kind of became something different. Because Persia there's no longer a Persia.
Yes, but you are considered Persian if you're from a certain place, certain
Yeah.
area.
I want to say Armenia is a part of that. I could be very wrong, but I thought like over there near Turkey,
Yes.
Armenia, like that area,
The Czech
is
Republic,
old,
that kind of stuff.
old Persia.
Y'all have really been traveling. Like, I ain't even been to Yellowstone Park, much less been
Yeah,
talking
it's
about
geography, baby.
talking about Armenia.
Well,
is-
we're over here watching the map show for
is
the last
not
3 days.
Armenia.
You know,
Well,
The map show.
he did concede though. Speaking of Kanye, he did concede.
He conceded?
He
He did.
officially dropped out.
conceded.
on Wednesday night he did.
Got up out of
He
there.
said, "You know what, y'all?
He bowed out
It all
gracefully.
falls down."
He said 2024. He said Kanye 2024. So he might be coming back. I'm sure there were a lot of angry young black men who was looking up to Kanye and realizing that, maybe he didn't have a shot.
Looking up to Kanye through their holes in their shirt.
Yeah.
Wherever I still I disapprove of that. Yesterday, today, and forever, I will always disapprove of Kanye's decision to do that. It is only 60,000 votes, and it is spread across a certain place. So if it's 12 states, we'll call it 5,000 votes per state. But where we're at right now, that 5,000 would help. So I just think that's ridiculous, and I will never forgive him.
I'm pretty sure
For
if you were
doing this.
voting for Kanye, you were not going to be a Biden supporter.
I don't know. These were the commercials that I saw. These were millennials, and they are people who are up with the things, and they want to vote for things that benefit them. Nothing Donald Trump does benefits them. I think Biden's
Nothing
closer.
Kanye West did would have been.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's the closest thing. I don't see I don't know. I think if they had not been swayed by his foolishness, I think they could have listened to other people. I guess is
There
what
are
I'm
a
thinking.
wave of people who were born in 2002 who just turned 18, and this is their first election they could vote, and they said, "Why not vote for him? I'll have another one."
Right.
That to me, that's what happened. I don't know what kind of Tom, Dick, or Harry just went out there and voted for Kanye West.
Just to be like, I really love his healthcare
His
plan.
platform.
I mean,
he's going to tackle debt.
We're going to keep Harriet off that 20.
After he pays
And,
back the electoral college, he's going to pay back these trillions of dollars that the American people owe.
Maybe they were like, if I vote for him, he'll put new music out. I don't know.
Ooh, Pennsylvania's under 60,000.
We're not reporting the news.
I'll tell you who wasn't voting for Kanye. That upsurge
Or
of
Biden.
That upsurge in white women
Oh, God.
that decided, you know what? Maybe Donald Trump speaks to me.
I can't wait for Bill Burr to get a hold of that number. Did y'all hear what he said on
Bill Burr,
Saturday Night Live the other week?
That was quite good.
I'll show it to
His
you.
little rant that he went on, his little opening speech. He was talking about white women. It was fantastic, and just their complicit. They're complicit being what I can't think of the word I
Them
want to
being
use.
complicit.
Yes, to all of this foolishness.
He said y'all benefited from the blood money, so just sit back and
Yes.
just take your talking to.
Not take your talking to.
But no, that's what one of the things that I think about when I see that is just like people marched and fought, and it was a lot of white women that did that. Marched and fought. They wanted to vote so badly just so you could do whatever your husband or your brother or your father doing as far as voting is concerned. That doesn't make any sense. Like, what is Donald Trump doing for you or any woman for that matter? Like, that vote doesn't make any sense to me. And you want to claim to be feminist or pro women. Like, white women are notorious for like wanting to jump out and be like, yeah, against something. But when it comes time to be against something, this is what you do. And they were up. What was that? They were up 2% or 3% from 4 years ago. 55 was higher than it was a few years ago.
Well, apparently, what they voted for was based on the political ads that I saw. Donald Trump is getting their husbands jobs. So I don't know if they work, but he's getting their husbands jobs. There was literally...
And also,
Yeah.
he's not going to defund the police, which would increase rapes.
This is true. And he's keeping those black folks out of the suburbs.
That he is. With the platinum plan.
With the platinum plan.
Plan endorsed by Dwayne Carter.
We want to keep the black people where they are in the hood. We just want to build their homes up. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
In their hood.
In their hood. So.
Yes.
Yay.
You know, I'm not with the shits with white women these days. Like, thank you guys for nothing. As someone who could stand up and do more, great job, ladies, for not. And I'm disgusted.
That segment of the white population.
Yes, that segment.
Yeah.
Those 55%, I'm done with y'all.
Between them and them motherfuckers down in Florida.
Yeah. Well, they in there too. The older ones are down there. The old ones are down there. And
I'm talking about the Cubans.
Oh, the Cubans. The Latin vote. Yeah. But I've done a lot of reading about this in the last few days, how the Latin vote is split up and how they get to use this word now. We're not a monolith. Black people say that about us all the time. They are also not a monolith.
Absolutely.
Which, of course, if you're educated in any slight way, you would know that. But
Just a slight.
you're thinking like, why would anyone of Spanish descent vote for Donald Trump? He put your long distance cousin in a
There
cage.
are two different kinds of
Exactly.
Latins. You've got Mexicans, we got Mexican Americans, and then you've got Cuban Americans and Puerto Rican Americans who pass for white. So now all of a sudden they feel the need to just fall into that camp.
Well, the two things that I learned in a couple articles, one, shout out to Nancy and her coworker who were having this conversation. Nancy was relaying it to me, but also after hearing him say that, did some reading. There are two reasons it looks like the Latin community will vote Republican, not just Donald Trump. Number one, because they came from a place that was run by people likes of Castro, Che Guevara, Juan Maduro, places like that in Venezuela. They are running from a terrible time. So when they get here and the guy in charge, who they're trained to believe and listen to, is screaming things like, don't vote for that guy because he's a socialist. It's going to be communist. It's going to be terrible. They're like, oh, shit, we just ran from that. We don't want that. So they vote against Joe Biden or whoever else because they don't want the socialists or the communism. The second thing,
Number two.
because when they come to this country, a lot of times immigrants tend to love America more than we do. Because they were fleeing again. They're fleeing from something. They see America as this opportunist place. It's going to be wonderful. The American dream. It's so great. And they want to be accepted by us. So one of their ways of assimilation is to vote the way the people who appear to be in charge and are doing the most and have access to all the things are voting. So that's one less thing that they can have against us if we vote with them and say that we're on their side. Then they won't be able to trash us or treat us like they do the blacks or the Asians or the Jews or whoever. So they vote Republican to avoid the problems. And when it comes to all the bad things that have been happening to their people, they kind of just look the other way. Like, that's not happening to me, so I'm going to go over here.
The classic nigga, we made it.
Yes.
Yeah, I call bullshit on both of those. Whether it's what they call it, I don't think it makes no fucking sense. You can't come into America. First things first, when you come to America to become an American citizen, you have to take a history test. In this history test, you learn about all the fuck shit that has happened in America over the course of however many hundreds of years. You mean to tell me that you think that America is just so great because of whoever is currently in there? But look at what they're doing to the people, your people, when they come over here. You're missing the memo.
Have you never studied for a test and didn't retain the information? Just so you get the grade?
Never.
And not only that, Donald Trump invested a lot of time into Florida.
He did.
He invested a lot of time in it, and I was reading some places as well where it was just like Donald Trump was putting the effort into those communities. He was putting out ads that were in Spanish or the languages that they spoke or whatever. And when you have that one side just speaking to you, and then you don't necessarily have that outreach from the other person that's running for presidency, sometimes it's easy to just fall through the cracks or just be like, well, you don't even bother to even show up and give me the time of day to even rebut this kind of stuff. So maybe what they're telling me is actually true.
So from that vantage point, I can understand that. You may not be saying a lot, but it means a lot. It's just like you were here, you actually showed up. Like when people who when they go into these like low income black places, like black communities, and people are like, oh, I love this person because they actually showed up where other people wouldn't have the decency to come talk to us like we were normal people. Now that I can get behind. The other two pieces, I'm just like, I just feel like it's just a cop out.
And just to piggyback on what Coley was saying, this one person is saying, and you, like you said, you've just come from another country and all you've known is a socialist regime or something like that. And the person is telling you this is coming your way.
PTSD is real.
PTSD is real. The person is not defending themselves by saying, I am not that person. Then someone is just going to believe,
because you don't have to explain yourself when things just don't make any sense. But when someone comes from their own smaller situation and what it is that you're not negating is what they're used to, you look like the guilty party. So that part, I get that. I get that.
And you're running to be president of the United States. Every issue should be on the table. You should be. And I don't think Joe Biden didn't do this, but I think you should be fighting for every vote. So if somebody has a question or a concern, that's a policy thing that they legitimately have an issue with. Are you coming with socialist policies? No, I am not. This is what I want to do. Everyone having healthcare as a right, you probably didn't have healthcare back where you were coming from. I'm trying to make it affordable so that you're not out here on the street or having to go into the emergency room and bringing everybody else's costs up. I'm trying to make sure that we have a better way of living. Like, I saw somebody on television, I think it was Chris Christie, and he was in there trying to defend Donald Trump. And one thing that he said that Joe Biden probably should have said to them was, yeah, we have all these issues that we have, but I would still be rather living here than anywhere else. And we can have a conflict of ideas, but this is still the best neighborhood that you can move into in the world. So, and go from there. But that's my little spat on that. But yeah, they went for Trump real heavy.
Well, I mean, education is a thing, and that's for them and even for us as we kind of, if we move away from that. But education is important. So to what you were saying, not having the person who's coming into your communities and saying anything, one of the reasons we're looking at Arizona this year is because the Latin and Spanish or whatever population there has gathered together, and they're like, look, we've got to stop this from happening. Like they've started groups, they have other coalitions of their own, just like we do, educating their people on what's really going on, so that they can stop that from happening.
Because in Arizona, you had policies that were worse than stop and frisk in New York.
Correct.
They were legitimately arresting folk and throwing them in cages because they could be believed to be illegal immigrants.
The show me your papers type law.
Yes. So education is a big thing. You've got to, whoever's doing whatever community you're in, that's important to keep those votes not where they need to go, but a place that's at least beneficial to you. Because Donald Trump's not doing anything for that community at all at this point. So like, give them the education that they need now that they're in the country with their citizenship, and they can pay more attention. They're not just trying to get in here and just be here.
Well, here's a counter argument to that. Again, I'm not trying to give him any real compliments, but what we found was the people that voted for Donald Trump as they were doing those exit polls, they were saying that the economy was important to them.
Exit polls or suppression polls?
Both. So
got it.
The supprexit polls.
But the exit, the supprexit
polls.
But what the people that voted for him said that the economy was the main thing. That's why they voted for him. And I had to remember, like, yeah, we're going through this pandemic, and a lot of people lost their jobs and stuff. But there's also a lot of people that did not lose their job. There were a lot of people that needed that stimulus check. But there was also a lot of people that did not need that stimulus check. People might have been getting thrown up out their houses, but there was a lot of people that were able to get houses and go forward in this pandemic. So if you are coming in and you have this person telling you this person's going to give you all these socialist policies, look what I'm doing for you, and you doing all right, you might be believed to just go ahead and vote for Trump and keep it going. So
I'm not. Again, educating yourself and looking out, other people educating those who clearly don't know is important. I'm not giving him shit. Not shit.
But the idea that someone's saying that coming into a pandemic that was caused by that was aided by the lack of preparation by the leader of the nation, afforded you to have X, Y, and Z things, so therefore you want to vote for the person that started the problem. Okay. Everyone is in.
Everybody doesn't take the pandemic serious also as well.
They don't.
Some of these people are right on out here without their mask on, talking about it's just a flu. You'll be all right. I mean, and he's out here at the thing in the rallies talking about, come on, it only affects old people. And look at me, I got it. You'll be all right. 99.9% people live.
All of these people are dying at his Trump rallies.
Absolutely.
Legitimately dying from his rallies. But whatever, guys. Have fun.
Shout out to Herman Cain.
Oh, God.
Look at the coons.
Speaking of coons, this election, the black vote has once again risen up. We've had so many campaigns. This one, it didn't have a name this year. We've had like Vote or Die, and Obama's like, yes, we can. But like, we didn't have anything for this time. But
it was Hold My Beer. That's probably what the campaign was.
Niggas have shown up and showed out in some of these states. That's why we are still here 2 days later, because people came out and put their votes in, did their ballots, and they're like, nah, we not about this life anymore. This is enough. Is it actually enough? So right, Atlanta's popping off. All the counties we're waiting on are mostly the black counties, to my understanding. So,
if Atlanta becomes the hot spot that turns Georgia blue, Stacey Abrams, we really love you.
Yes,
we
Stacey.
honor you, and we thank you for the groundwork
you
that
deserve.
you laid.
Yes, you deserve. Stacey did her thing, getting niggas to realize you've got to vote. You cannot let them tell you no. Like, that's not what's up. We thank you, Stacey.
What would you do if, real side note, and I know it's not really that funny, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Oh, shit.
We were watching John King on the walls.
On the map,
on the maps.
board.
And he was like, these are heavy urban areas. This is where all the Negroes are. So we're still waiting on those votes to come in.
He looks like he might.
They on CPT.
We know a lot of them mail their stuff off last minute, but this pocket right here where the bubbles are, that's where the Negroes are.
The problem is everyone was putting same ballots, different ballots in same envelopes because they lost their envelopes. They only have one stamp. We didn't. We realized they were different ballots and they were sealed properly because they was in the same envelope. So we decided to count them, but we didn't.
Somebody mailed it a manila envelope. It was a lot going on.
And like the original address was scratched out because like they just wrote over it with a Sharpie.
Yeah, because they said that they live at their mama's address so they can vote in this county.
I got warrants in this county, so I had to like work in this one.
I'm a felon over there, so I want to come over here. It's better school districts.
Wow.
Black people, we love you. We didn't mean it, mostly. No, but John King, he looks like he's one wrong prompter read away from that. Like if someone wrote it, I don't think he would not say it.
He probably paused, but no, right? This is where the Negroes are in the Philadelphia area.
You stay classy, Georgia.
You and the rest of your niggers.
What was that from?
Anchorman.
Anchorman and yeah, because he'll read anything in the prompter.
No, but we have shown up and showed out, and I love that about us. But I've seen that young man that I was telling you about. Not telling you, I asked you who his name.
Eddie Glaude Jr.
Yes,
Professor.
Who's not young at all.
Right.
Well, they're all young men. We're all young men and women.
In Christ.
Yes, amen. Being out here talking about how we're just we're tired. Like we came out because we're tired and we're wanting something different. And that little speech, I don't know if you listened to that video that I sent you, but he'd been talking just about the general, like black people just being like sick and tired. So yes, we're coming out and we're doing the thing, but don't expect us to clean up your mess. Like you need to do this. We're tired. We're coming out because that's what we're supposed to do, but this is not our job. And it made me think of there's an episode of Blackish 4 years ago where Dre, after Hillary did not win, the people in his office were like, oh no, Hillary didn't win, blah, blah, blah. And Dre was just like, whatever. They were like, you don't care? Like, we're going to have the first woman president? Like, doesn't bother you? And he was like, I'm not unbothered. I didn't expect anything different. I voted. It didn't work out. And that's no different than what it always is. And he's like, well, didn't we hear that your people came out and voted for it? He said, well, yeah, we did. Because that's what you're supposed to do. But we're tired of trying to show up for America. Like, America needs to show up for us. Like those 55% of those white women or all these new, what do you say, 20-something million people that voted for him another time. Like, they need to show up. Like, this is not our job to fix this shit. We're coming out and we're going to do it. But, like, you can't keep letting us be the ones that save it. And then the white Democrats who are supposed to be on our side still don't do what they need to do for us. We still get stuck and left behind and all the shit. So, there's a lot of that going on around right now. The Twitter is lit up.
I mean, but that's just America. unfortunately, like that's just how the country has been founded because that's what they did from the very beginning. Like you use people for what you need them for, and then when they don't fit your agenda, you let them ride.
Yeah. No. That's definitely true. I was talking to a friend of mine today. She said something. She was like, "It was crazy." I was like, "No, it's not crazy. That's America." Like,
Right.
It's not crazy at all, actually. But we don't want to be used to it, but we are. And we're still preaching the same thing 40, 60, 80 years later, however long, whenever all the movements have been happening, the same thing. We're still telling you, y'all have got to do something different. This is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, and the onus is not on us to do anything different. The onus is not on us. So, yeah, that was a good little clip. And when I saw it, because I'd seen it like a little bit before you sent it to me, I was like in there toe up.
Was that the one that they posted in the group chat?
With the black dude with the glasses?
Yeah. Oh, he was. And I felt every second of that.
And those white people were silent. They were looking like, ooh.
He was like,
don't y'all say
he
shit.
at one point, he just had his head down.
He hit that table a couple times.
Like, I'm just sick of this
yes.
shit.
He had some tears in his eyes, too.
Yes.
I was like, Reverend, go ahead.
Van Jones had a pretty, a real heartwarming moment. I want to say maybe Wednesday, or late Tuesday night. I saw the clip where he was saying something similar about just how heartbreaking this is. It's like, yeah, you don't want to be naive to what's going on, obviously. Like, we know people out there ain't shit, sure. But, like, for whatever reason, you wanted to believe after everything that's happened in 2020, at least, and just in 2020 alone, forget the 3.5 years before now. 2020 alone has been a mess. It's been mishandled completely by this administration. So it's heartbreaking to see that this is what people are doing. And Van was like, you can't just toss it off as whatever. He said, no, white people are doing this. They have the control, and they're doing this over and over and over again, and they're refusing to say and admit that that's what's happening. He's like, don't tell me that that's not what's happening, because it is, because that's why we're here. He said, don't give me that little small percentage of us that voted for him, because we'll get to that later. That we're not the problem.
Meanwhile,
y'all are.
The dude tried to butt in was like, well, those black women,
Yes.
there was more black women that voted for him this time. He's like, you have 3% versus 1%.
We're not the problem.
Because that is what people's arguments are. They try to take the little smallest things and nitpick their way into all of this. And it's like, come on, fam, no. That's not how this works. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to deflect from the bigger picture. The bigger picture is you guys have been doing this forever, to the point that it is legitimately woven into your DNA. It is just who you are as a people. And it takes I imagine it takes a lot for a white person to actively leave their whiteness behind, or this, and not even like culture or anything like that, but just their idea of what is just granted to them just based off them being born, what they're entitled to because of how America has been groomed and built. So it's just, I imagine it takes a lot to do that, and the vast majority of them don't.
I just going back to
that's another
Professor Gloud and what you were saying, Naji. That's what he was saying. He was saying, white people are out here shrouding themselves, and I think he said America as a whole, but I think he meant white people are shrouding themselves in a cloak of like innocence, and it's like,
oh, I didn't know this happened.
Everybody else is on the outside, or we're on the outside. Minorities on the outside, looking in, seeing what's happening, and there's always a moment in time every 10 years or whatever where we have to show up and prove ourselves and show that we're not as terrible as we were made out to be. We are actively engaged. We do want to be successful. We do want opportunities. We do love our country and want it to be better, but we just have some issues that we need to have worked out. And every year, a new generation of people that look like us are having to have a moment where they have to prove themselves. Like we're never really getting to that point where we could just say, oh yeah, that was in the past. Here's we are now. It's legitimately, no, that was last week. Like it's not far enough in the past with the stuff that we have to deal with. So,
and it's got to. It has the voting thing specifically. Like it's got to the way they're handling the voting, like with the suppression, the intimidation, all of that. Is just like it's just been happening, and they want to say that it's not. And like so, this whole time leading up to the last couple of days, they're saying, "Oh, that's not a thing," but now they're saying it's a thing because they don't like how it's going against them. Like, no, we've been dealing with this forever. Esquire mentioned Stacey Abrams 4 years ago when she lost. Like we thought she was going to win, but because we find out what the state of Georgia was doing and all that foolishness down there, it's just like That's not cool, but it's been happening that way. Like, you
Right.
gave us the right to vote, but then you made us take 1 million leaps and then across a giant body of water to vote. So it's like, well, fuck, I'm just not going to deal with it. So it's like, you've been constantly trying to keep our vote away from us. And now that we're doing it, it's a problem now. You're still trying to stop us after all this time. You're still trying to stop us from being heard. What is up with that?
Or you got us waiting 3 and 4 hours
Yes.
to vote. But in other neighborhoods, I got out real quick. It was
Yeah, it
just
took me
10
10 minutes.
They had a whole bunch of polling machines. Meanwhile, you over there in Compton trying to figure out why is your machine, why we only got one machine and it's on paper. Like, what is happening right now? And it's unplugged.
Yes.
Like, what are we doing? Did it even count?
Is this a slot machine?
Right.
Why are there cherries on my ballot?
Right.
That man said I got to pay
count the
25
beans.
cents to vote. What is this?
Right. So it is what it is.
It's a mess. I would say we should pray for it, but then depending on who is doing the praying, you got to be very, very careful. This is my personal beef, America. As the daughter of a preacher, as someone who loves sweet baby Jesus or Jesus in all forms, I am tired. I'm tired. Tired. That's T-I. I was like T-I-E-D. Tired. Because I'm in knots and I'm tired. I'm tired.
Not to be confused with Tide washing clothes.
No, because I'm not washing. I'm so tired of people posing as Christian and claiming my Jesus is okay with all of this. My Jesus would never. He would not never. If y'all need some, if y'all not sure, y'all want to talk about it. We're not. This is not a. We're not going to turn this into a Bible study. But if y'all got a question, you can call me. We can talk about it. This is not my Jesus. My Jesus would never.
Not mine.
It is the most baffling thing to me when you throw Jesus. Now, don't get me wrong. People have been throwing Jesus on folks about slavery.
Mm-hmm.
They threw Jesus on folk to say God didn't want you to be good, so therefore you're going to be our property. What? No, not how that works. But hell, white America has done that for forever. Mm-hmm. And even not even white America, just white as a whole. Because they did the same thing in Europe. They did the exact same concept in England, which is how they ran over here, all the persecution and dumb shit. Mm-hmm. So it's like you sit around, you think, and it's like you preach, love and forgiveness and togetherness, but you don't do anything in revolving that when it comes to people who don't look like you. Mm-hmm. Or hell, even the people who do like you, if they're not in your social status, then they don't count.
They're not at your church.
Exactly.
And even then,
they don't sit in your section.
Right.
Then that's what it is. You sit on the right. Ooh, no. We're on the left.
We're on the left. It's a you know what? Just watching, and it's been done before, but just these Donald Trump years, and just seeing how much the Christian community or white evangelical community has swallowed and looked the other way or made excuses. Well, he's going to protect the right to life. That's what I believe in. And we didn't elect a pastor, as they say. We didn't elect a pastor, but with anybody else, you don't mind not separating church and state or whatever. But you look the other way. This man gets on television and lies every single day. This man gets on television and will denigrate people who have just died, i.e., John McCain, or come out and just not give a damn. And you just sitting there like, well, as long as he's not our pastor, so
he protects the right for
judges.
I believe the number is 26 sexual assault allegations. 26 that he has. Now, granted, he ain't no Bill Cosby, but we're not talking about that. But 26.
Hey, leave him out of this argument. This has nothing to do with
Right
Bill.
now, before
Did
the haters,
Bill even vote?
I'm gonna say it before the haters say it.
He can't.
He can't.
Vote because Bill can't. No.
Vote like your pussy
sitting
depends on it.
president with 26 allegations of sexual
it
assault
does.
is absolutely insane. But y'all think that's okay though? Like that's okay for someone to go around grabbing women by the pussy, or you can just kiss them, and when you're famous, you can do what you want. They'll just take it.
But
They'll accept it.
let's not skip over the fact of what else people like gloss over when it comes to the church. The crazy that people do in church, and people just like, little altar boys have been getting plugged up the ass for a very long time now, but
That
people
is
just
true.
they just scoot right on over it because it's the church. So it's not new that it's happening in politics. It's just it's literally on TV all the time. You don't see many things about like these priests or whatever. You may see documentaries, but you don't have like a running CNN coverage for 4 years about the same shit. And and then the priests come up here and make these statements that are clear lies as they wipe jizz off their face and just keep it moving. Like, that's not how this works.
No, what happens? They move them around.
Exactly.
They move them around, and they'll be quick to lock your ass up for harming an animal. But you have a little altar boy, or they'll be quick to demonize you. Oh, you believe in abortion or whatever else kind of stuff. Well, what the hell happens to the people when they make it, when they live? Do their lives not matter? Like, what the hell is going on?
All lives don't always matter. It just depends on when you want them to matter.
It depends on what time it is.
And all votes don't matter. Blue votes matter. Okay, let's be clear.
I have to say, the first time we talked about this foolishness 2 episodes ago, I meant to. When it comes to the evangelicals, the religious bullshit, whatever, I had actually a conversation with my parents. Well, because that religious, yes, spirituality is one thing, religion is ridiculous. And I talked to my parents the other day, and this is never a conversation I've had with them about stuff like abortion. Like, we were talking about the right to life, pro-choice, pro-life. I said, I am proudly pro-choice, because that is between me, my body, and honestly, Jesus. That's between me and Jesus, what I decide to do, or what any woman decides to do. And these Christians, these white men in power who want to decide that it's their choice for something that I have going on, it doesn't make any sense. And then when you say, like, I get where they're wanting it to be, this is life and it's murder, and God, every life is precious. Well, is it? Because when they get here, you treat it like it's not. You take away all the resources for that life that you thought was so precious. You put the hoods that it grows up in. There's no clean water in Flint still. These buildings are run down. These education systems are crumbling. So is that life really so precious to you? So I'm not saying that it's not, but I'm saying that you don't actually think it is. What you want is to be in control of me as a person. So you don't actually care about me. You care about being in control of me. And that's your shit. That's a problem. And that's not okay. Don't put my Jesus on any of that.
That sounds like you need to type that up and send that to Paula White, because I'm sure she would have a good rebuttal.
Paula White was sitting up there with her off-shoulder shirt. Did you see that clip where she was praying?
Yes, for the angels from Africa.
Yes.
To descend.
She had her old flash dance sweater on up there with her reading glasses. I feel it. I did that. Paula, if you don't pass that, somebody get off me and smack her over the head with it.
Here's the thing. I remember my mom used to love Paula White.
Yes.
She used to love
we
Paula
supported
White.
the hell out of Paula White.
Paula White didn't fell off the wagon. Something happened.
Never heard of Paula White until today.
Are you serious? She was one of those like
famous evangelists, up and coming pastors.
Yes,
I think T.D. Jakes took her.
She was like a lit Joyce Meyer.
I don't know who Joyce Meyer is either.
Well, yes.
So imagine just, if
they didn't put an album out, I probably didn't know who they were.
Just imagine someone that, maybe your mom or somebody likes to read their books or hear what they talk about. That was that kind of, they were that kind of in the church. They were always traveling around doing conferences, and they were like really lit. Like, they had a certain style of preaching that resonated with black church members.
Yes. Okay.
So it was almost like, oh, we having revival in here. We here shouting because this white lady going clean off type thing. She really speaking to your soul. But now you see her and it's just like,
she's on his advisory board. She's like one of his religious advisors, and it's like,
that's his spiritual advisor they're talking about.
He's yes.
Oh, I saw the clip with the flash dance.
Yeah.
So I figured that's who you're talking about, but I never knew who she was aside from that.
It's just like, what does he have over you, or what kind of money did he give you?
No, what kind of money is she getting? And that's we're not going to talk about that. Like, this is part of her money. So she's one of those people that will be affected if Joe Biden, if Joe Biden, if Uncle Joe Biden is elected, she's one of those who will be affected because of the millions that she has taken from those people who were listening to her hemming and hawing will be slashed. With Joe Biden.
She's still praying for them angels from Africa to the. I'm like, what is she talking about? Where are these angels in Africa?
We don't,
because they can't vote.
They can't.
They can't vote.
They can't
watching over me.
But they steady out here doing it. But they're no more ridiculous than just they're following suit with their leader. Their fearless leader is out here, and we said at the beginning, these last few days, that man is out of his mind. What he opened up his statement with. In the ballots that are legal, I'm winning largely by a lot. In the ballots that are illegal, obviously, we're getting those thrown out because I'm like, what are you talking? Like, how do you open addressing the nation with that bullshit?
watching Donald Trump crash and burn like this. This is the finale that I wanted from House of Cards.
From Game of Thrones.
From Game of Thrones, but no, 2020.
I haven't seen the last couple seasons of House of Cards.
2020 as a whole is what I wanted from Game of Thrones, like the ups and down roller coasters.
Okay.
That I felt like they could have did in 10 episodes.
I see where you're going there.
This House of Cards, it was the perfect House of Cards ending.
Oh God.
This would have been a perfect House of Cards ending because they ran off Kevin Spacey after the allegations.
Well, and Frank Underwood could have easily lost his shit, the way Donald Trump is losing his.
But think about you did see like the season that he was last on there. Frank Underwood.
I think I'm like 2 seasons away from. I'll go back. Is
he
it
was
still on
also
Netflix?
becoming unraveled.
It's on Netflix.
Okay, I'm gonna go watch it.
Well, without spoiling it.
You can spoil it. I don't care.
Okay, spoil it. Anyway, he was running for re-election, and he knew he was losing. He knew he was losing. So what he did was there was like a couple states that he needed to win. He called it like an emergency terrorist threat had happened. So they needed to shut the polls down, get the people in there and stop the count and everything like that. Like he was legitimately doing that. And he ended up squeaking by because he was like showing himself to be strong. But he was everything that Donald Trump just about is doing that I could see Frank Underwood like doing that. So
it's just been like a friend of mine, shout out whenever you listen to this, she was saying the other day, like she would love to see this turn into a movie or a TV show. And I'm like, no, we're, not to negate her statement. We're in the TV show. Like we used to watch Scandal and House of Cards and all those other political shows. Like, oh gosh, this is crazy. And thinking like, how far from the truth is this really? It's the truth. It's a fucking mess. We are living a Shonda Rhimes show on steroids right now.
I just needed there to have been a real life Papa Pope.
No, where is he now?
How you doing?
I'm not fooling with you today.
How you coming here talking?
I'm not fooling with you. I'm not
We need him. Where is he at?
The crazy part about it is if they do make this a movie, it's going to have to be 20 years from now. And we're going to have to, everybody in America is going to have to find somebody to play themselves. We are all fucking characters in this goddamn Donald Trump has brought us all in. We are in. Our opinions matter. We're not just watching it. We're living it, motherfucker. We are living it.
We are here with it. I'm saying like this is so unreal. The way that he is behaving live and in person right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at Georgia. Look at
Georgia.
Look at 2,000.
Wherever y'all are right now, we're
2,400 in Georgia.
We are
2,400 in Georgia.
Georgia.
Come on back here.
How it goes.
Georgia.
The full shit, like it's insane.
Bankhead.
Like him talking about the democratic process and how we are ruining it. Sir, you threatening to call up fucking who's on the thing? Scalia. I'm trying to
the Supreme Court. He was talking about we're going to the Supreme Court. This has got to stop.
Like, sir, you just can't go to the Supreme Court. You can't just run up in there and be like,
show up. Morning. I brought bagels. Cream cheese, anyone.
Amy, did they get your key?
It's like
Amy. He opened the door.
The secretary's like, I'm sorry. I couldn't stop him. He just ran right in.
Let me talk to Amy real quick. Amy.
Meanwhile, Amy is.
Get Lisa in them. Oh man,
Clarence,
get out.
I don't know.
Get out.
That Twitter has just been out of control. Like that Twitter, everything has been in all caps.
I need to
Stop the vote.
So have the press releases, because the press releases are nothing but tweets that will get brought down by Twitter. So he has put them bitches in press
releases.
These niggas on CNN said, I have never seen a press release in all caps. And the black girl said, that's because it was a tweet.
It was a tweet.
Speaking of CNN, shout out to the people on the TV, okay? Jake Tapper, Joy Reid, Rachel Maddow. In the future, when we hear this and we think back, y'all are the people that I will remember because y'all are the MVPs through all of this.
Can you just tell me where? I didn't know where they sat because I don't know.
Rachel Maddow is usually in the middle.
She has a shortcut.
She wears the same suit every time she talks.
And to her right is the black lady with the natural hair.
That's Joy Reid.
This is MSNBC. You've only been watching CNN.
I don't fool with them. I'm fooling with them.
Oh shit.
Oh, you should be. You
CNN,
should watch you.
CNN or die.
Nah, you should be watching
CNN is very
MSNBC.
analytical. MSNBC is very comical.
If you cut to Rachel Joy and Nicole Wallace at the wrong time, you might catch them laughing. Like you might catch them
I like
cracking up about something that's happening. Like it doesn't. We should probably turn to them and see what they're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, Esquire is taking a potty break, and so we're just gonna keep talking. Najee and
He had the tingle.
well, no, you should watch it. MSNBC. And Jake Tapper's on there sometimes too.
I don't know who these people are. Where does he sit?
Jake Tapper is always in the middle. He always has a nice suit on all the time.
With the black girl and the white lady on both sides?
Yes.
Okay,
that is Jake Tapper.
So this poor black lady, you know what her name is? She's clearly a younger black lady.
He said it wasn't April. He said Abby.
I couldn't tell you if it
April's
was.
real pretty with a real nice sew-in.
She also has a nice sew-in, this lady here.
Okay.
But whoever this nice young lady is, I want to commend her. I wish I knew her name because I want to commend her by name because the way she holds her facial expressions when dealing with the bullshit that they're talking about. That meanwhile, my man in the middle, what's his name?
Jake
Tapper.
Middle nigga Tapper. He don't give a shit. He's been out here like calling Trump and his son all kinds of shit, and she's sitting there because we all know the black woman can't say anything that's partially, one-sided because then everybody jumps on her and they, lose track of the message, as Esquire would say. However, she has legitimately been holding her face, but that young lady's eyebrows have a language of their own. Black women, your eyebrows have their own language because when you're in these different situations and you can't move your face, you don't realize your eyebrows is dancing.
And the camera keeps cutting to her.
Or
do a split screen.
Her eyeshadow keeps changing. I'm like, she's trying to contain that arch because her eyebrows are like, the fuck is this nigga even
The
out
other
here doing?
night, Joy Reid was doing that whole, like, where she has her hands folded and she's just like,
That's a black
like
lady
the
as
camera
well.
caught her when she was just like in this motion here, and I was like, "Oh shit! Turn the camera!" She is trying. She's trying.
That's when
so
Florida
hard.
was coming in.
Yes.
That's when Florida
Is
was
this
coming in.
CNN?
That's MSNBC.
Okay, I don't know that.
You have got to watch you some MSNBC.
But the black lady.
What do you know what her name is?
Is it Abby or April?
Abby Phillips.
Abby Phillips.
Abby Phillips.
She,
shout out to Abby Phillips.
The bar is very low for her to, or actually it's very high for her to have to climb, or maybe low, whatever. She can do the facial expressions. Jake Tapper and Dana Bash on there talk about the debate. That was a shit show.
Yeah. Jake Tapper was literally shuffling papers one day last week. Whenever that stuff about Hunter Biden came out, he was shuffling. I'm not reporting this, and he like put it off to the side and started talking about something else.
So they don't give a damn. So and mind you, we can't do the same things that other people do at the workplace. But her facial expressions are not going to get her kicked off the panel.
Not right now. We're not in 2020.
Right.
What they not going to do? That's what they won't do.
Wait, is this all basically our version of this shit right here?
Yes.
We didn't take our shot.
This is this shit right here. Do you want to take a shot? Like,
yes.
What?
All right. So okay, keep going. I'm gonna pour it up.
Okay. Oh, bless. I don't trust you.
Did you get the outline?
You don't even be like
No, I
drinking
did.
like
But
that.
that's what I thought. I was like, wait a minute, we didn't do it because normally, we do our shot at the start of this shit for season 3. This is
We
new.
have
We started
actual
this.
evidence on air of you pouring a drink that did not work out well for you.
But a shot is different. You have shot glasses. I'm not pouring in a solo cup. That's
Red Solo cup.
I just.
you want to do it?
I'll do it.
Go ahead, bye.
Go ahead.
So continue. So I need to refresh myself while she leaves. I need to refresh myself on my Daddy Pope impersonation because it has been a while since it has happened. And the only thing I can think of is come hell or high water. There's so much more.
Najee from 3 years ago would have ate up that Daddy Pope.
Season, wasn't it? Come hell or high water.
That was, I don't know what season
He was like,
it was
great. You mess with my daughter, and you.
Daddy Pope is legitimately my spirit animal. Him and them fucking dinosaurs. I used to build those little wooden dinosaur kits when I was a kid. Fun fact.
Did they let you paint them and stuff too?
Well, no. This was ones that used to come to the house.
Okay.
So I didn't ever paint it because I was never artistic.
Not to be confused with autistic.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Not to be confused. But I would take those little wooden figures and like build the dinosaurs or whatever. That was like my shit. Then I would build cars, but I never would paint because I just couldn't color in the lines, even though there were no lines. Even
though there was no line.
But Daddy Pope spoke to me, when he would talk about just the shit that was going on. I was sitting there like, yeah, your daughter, she wilding, you Daddy Pope. I need to rewatch Scandal now just for Daddy Pope.
Bruh, you can do that for the next episode. Maybe you do that for the intro. Hey, you.
Don't you tempt me with a good time.
However the hell you do it, like you used to come in there and kill that shit, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
It's interesting. I haven't seen Kamala Harris at all.
She was just up there. Joe Biden came out today, and he was just like
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. I'm sorry, came out there with his mast.
Were a mast. Were a mast.
He was out there telling people to be calm, be patient. He's like, they're counting the votes. It looks like we might, get close to 70, but we just want to see the votes. And she was standing there right beside him.
We're tracking. He
was like, we're on track. He was talking to her. He said, Senator, it looks like we're on track or whatever to win or whatever. She was there.
Arizona. Philly and Arizona came down.
She's just, Kamala Harris is doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing. Like at this point, it's all on the field. Ain't no need to be out here like Donald Trump, and as Jake Tapper said, or somebody said, they riding around they clown cars all over the place, start trouble.
Big black vans.
They big black. Like the Biden team is literally everybody at home at this point because there's nothing else to do.
Chilling.
There's nothing else to do. Like if they file a lawsuit, you can do it electronically and answer back. Yeah, we'll see them.
Reading up and getting ready to read motherfuckers for the next 4 years.
It's gonna be great.
She's smarter than all of them motherfuckers. She's somewhere just getting ready.
So Mrs. Naji says she's excited about telling baby Naji that Kamala Harris was our first black female president.
Wow.
And she was like, because let's be clear, Jill and Kamala about to run that shit. Joe old. And I was like, Uncle Joe Biden is very, very old. He is very old.
Here's what I think is going to happen with Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Thank you.
And y'all tell me this, or actually, first off, shout out to Joe Biden. Regardless of how this happens, this is Joe Biden's third time running for president. His third time. He ran for president way back in like the 70s or early 80s when he was, and then he ran against Barack Obama in 2008. That's when he picked him. So
running for president, not necessarily saying that he made it all the way as the Democratic
nominee. Right, he was never the nominee. And
even back in the 70s.
He was never the nominee.
Okay, cool.
He had never won a state in the primary.
Damn.
So now, look at him now. If we really want to talk about the evangelicals, that's a testimony.
It is.
So not only did he become the nominee, it's possible that he could win, but they also said he has earned more votes than any president in the history of our elections.
The popular vote, yes.
In the popular vote. So that is a testimony in itself.
And you know what? This shot is for Uncle Joe Biden.
Uncle Joe Biden.
Where she motherfucker.
You ran against someone who was talking about your dead son, who talked about your son.
Your other son.
Your other son that was on drugs.
Yeah.
He got himself impeached trying to get information on you and your son and get you disqualified. He gave you a whole ass nickname of Sleepy Joe and called your family all types of stuff. And look where you are. And
you ain't even had to show no ass.
Nothing.
But meanwhile, he did tell him to shut up.
Right. He did tell him to shut. That's about the worst you're going to get. But no, what I was saying was, I don't know about him not necessarily being the one that's not going to run it. If we remember, I don't know if you were following it back then, when Barack Obama got elected, because Joe Biden had been a senator for so long, he would send Joe Biden out there to the Senate.
What's his name?
Joe Biden.
Thank you so much.
Out to the Senate, and he had those relationships.
He was in the Senate for a while, right?
He was in there for a while. And think about it. I don't know if you haven't necessarily been following it, but
I know you have to keep reminding me.
When I follow that stream of thought, I have to always put that asterisk on it. These Republican senators don't have a whole lot of bad things to say about Joe Biden. They're basically just saying
they rock with him.
We need to give Donald Trump another 4 years. We need to do this, but they are not.
They're on the party lines.
Exactly.
That's all this is.
They are not attacking him because they know him. Mm-hmm. They know when he get up in that motherfucker, he gonna be in there cutting deals. He gonna be round that floor talking about, "Come on, man, we gotta do such and such or whatever."
With a little smirk.
With a little smirk on it, and be laughing and joking and cutting deals. That's what they wanted Donald Trump to do. They felt like Donald Trump came from New York. He had more in common with Democrats than anything because he was in a blue state. He can get in there and cut deals and do whatever. Instead, he was just in there ruling by fear. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But Kamala will have a heavy hand in this. And the government.
I am very excited to see the progression to finally have a woman in one of the top 2 seats in the United States.
Yes.
Because I guess Sarah Palin would have been the last one who possibly would have been if John McCain won, right? Because she was his running mate, right?
Yes.
The nice Alaskan lady.
The number 2 spot. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because top 2 spot, she would have been number 2.
Or in this case, it would have been Hillary. Would have been the last one because she would have been on the number 1 spot.
I'm talking about before Hillary.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was a whole nother different level of like we never seen that shit before.
Right.
Has a woman ever run for president before Hillary?
Shirley, not Caesar. You're next in line. Shirley Chisholm.
Yes, back in the day.
If Shirley Caesar would have walked up to a political podium and said, "We got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes,"
Wow,
and she would have won. But this shot here to Uncle Joe Biden for getting as far as you've gotten.
Need Joe Biden.
I want Joe Biden. Need Joe Biden.
As long as you got me, you don't need Joe Biden. Joe Biden. We do need Joe Biden.
We do.
Yeah.
What is this?
That was not captain.
What do we want to call that?
That was not the
That was for
round table.
That wasn't the round table.
It wasn't.
Round table was purple, right?
Yeah, but she ain't trust me, but she gave us some roofies and shit.
Come on. It was a little
Add it up.
Well. Speaking of, and I want Coley's.
roofies?
Yeah,
Always.
You put mine under my tongue. But speaking of women in the top two spot, how do you feel, Coley? Just off your first reaction, Donald Trump ran against Hillary Clinton, who was arguably, and you can argue about it, one of the most well-qualified politicians, well-experienced, regardless of emails and personal animus that you may have against her. She had a long resume in government, lost, but now it's taking possibly another 70-something-year-old white man to possibly run him up out of office.
Well, the only thing or person that white men hate more than black people is white women. So,
well, I'm just saying, as a person, like seeing that as seeing a woman
you as
get
a white
ran
woman,
up.
How do you feel?
Not as a white woman, as a woman
that?
in general, seeing someone get demonized and thrown up out of there. And
oh no, it's terrible how they did Hillary ran it. And even back then, I've said this too. Hillary wasn't the choice I wanted, but when it came down to it, his first woman, that's cool. I don't have a whole lot against her, but she wasn't my choice. But it is what it is. She's not Donald Trump, and it's terrible how they demonized her. They do that to women. Any woman who is smarter, it feels bad, and it's something that I can identify with. It's happened to me in my life. Just like if you know more and you speak up about it, the wrong man will have a huge problem with it, and that's what Hillary dealt with. Kamala's dealt with it. She's going to deal with it for the next 4 years. She's going to deal with it for the rest of her career, but she's been doing it long enough that she can figure out how to deal with it. And Hillary did too. She deals with it very well. She keeps it, lets it roll right off. But it sucks to see, as a woman, to see that happen, because it could have been something so different. I'm not saying that it would have been so much better, but it wouldn't be what it is now. We would not be where we are now if we had anybody else, not even just Hillary. So
poor Hillary got fucked over in every way. She was attached to the presidency. When she was married to the president, she got fucked over for not leaving the man who was cheating on her. Then she runs for president, gets fucked over because she's a woman, basically. And it's like, yeah, no, this bitch can't run. So it's like, I feel Hillary and I are friends. I actually was one of the ones who she consulted about her bone white outfit she wore last year.
We love that outfit.
Yes. It was one of my faves.
Yes.
We talked about the leggings and all that stuff. But I just hated that she kind of got those were documentary on, I want to say Hulu.
Yes,
and she was talking about it, and she was. I was like, damn, bitch, like you went through a lot. Like you about as scarred as Princess Diana, R.I.P. Like people just didn't fuck with you, and you didn't do nothing. You didn't do anything wrong.
She was the poster person of hate. But then I think that documentary and maybe she didn't necessarily show all of herself when she was running, but it's something about that documentary.
Yeah,
you saw her as a person, and I can attest to. Remember, I think you saw me when we were living together, Naji, when I was watching that documentary on Mitt Romney. And I was like, the way that people paint you in the media and all this kind of stuff, but you actually see, well, maybe that might have been a good person to have in office as a person. Like, they're not a funhouse mirror of what you think that they actually are in real life. Yeah, that was sad.
It sucks.
It sucked.
It's like you want to, and it ties back into all of this. You want to believe that people will be decent. Because it's like, obviously, like in my head, we went to school, all of us. We learned history.
We're schooled.
Learned.
We know
what's supposed to be happening in this White House. Like we don't pay a lot of attention to it in general, but we know what's supposed to be going on there. So like just based off in general what we know should be happening there, the fact that that's not what's been going on and that people are voting to continue have like the foolishness go on is insane. Hillary came in at a time trying to continue, Hillary, Bernie, anybody that ran 4 years ago came in trying to continue the momentum that we gained as a nation in that 8 years. Say what you will, but there's a certain type of momentum that we gained between '08 and 2016 that can't be denied. So they're trying to continue it further, do whatever we're going to do. And now we've been at a halt in a lot of ways in the last 4 years because people decided, oh, no. We might want to change, but you're not going to be the one to take us to the change. We don't want you to change us.
We've been at a halt, or people have been surviving in spite of.
Yes.
It's a lot of in spite of going on.
Which is ridiculous because it didn't have to be that.
Yes.
We could have definitely survived a lot better. One of the things I was talking to someone about the things that I looked up what Joe Biden, Donald Trump and his things that he's done for black people, the whole giving more money to the HBCUs. I was talking to someone about how, yeah, that's nice. But the problem with that is that those kids leave there in debt if they get there at all because the communities that they come from are overpoliced and underfunded. So they're set up for failure, and it's hard for them to get to the place that has more funding to protect them and get them ready. But even when they're there, that money is mishandled because of how whoever's in charge of it or whatever. So when they come out into the world, we already had that episode last season, they're unprepared for life. So it's like, yes, you did help us adjacently, but the problem is way further. It's earlier than that.
You unprepared for life, and you got a minimum of $130,000
exactly.
dead.
Like you need to help them at conception. You need to help them in their neighborhoods. Then like that's the help we want to see. So when it's about his platinum plan, I don't know if y'all read Biden's actual plan for Black America versus the platinum plan is like 2 pages. Joe Biden's is like 48 pages. And he actually outlined specifically what he's trying to do. The bills on the floor already that he's trying to push through when he gets in.
Joe
Biden.
Thank you.
So it's like, I don't know. We could have been in so many different places, and hopefully eventually, probably not in the next 4 years, hopefully we eventually get there. But golly.
You know, I think that one of the main things that we need to focus on is, so there are two fronts. There's the systemic things that are happening that are beyond the control of the people who are being oppressed. Mm-hmm. And then there are the things that need to be addressed within the actual neighborhoods and communities in of itself. Mm-hmm. And I think that both things can be true and both things can be worked on at the same time. But I think too often people want to focus on one versus the other. It's like, we need to start worrying about, these different elected officials and like systemic racism. We need to fix our community from the inside out. Yes, that is a true statement that the inside needs to be fixed first. However, if you fix your inside and then everything on the outside is broken down, then the fixing of the inside is pointless. Fix everything on the outside and the inside is still corrupted, then again, everything is pointless. Both things have to happen simultaneously in order for everybody to come up. But then again, there's the other fun part of all of this is, do the people who have the advantage want to give up their advantage by making it a level playing field across the board? Mm-hmm. No. I mean, because... No, they don't.
It's never going to. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a lot of fighting. It's going to take a whole lot of drilling in that kind of attitude. Because anytime you are in a position of power and the minority wants to take a little bit of power for themselves or be recognized, it's always it's not about X, Y, and Z. It's not about race, or it's not about that. Why can't you keep things the way that they are? Like, change is hard. Mm-hmm. And you can substitute any group or class of oppressed person whenever they are rising up and they get a little bit of shine on them, mm-hmm. a little bit of focus. It's always the people that's in power that's used to having the privilege that'll look up and have the most grief about it.
Yeah,
like I just, when did we get to the point where we have to start employing black people? Like, why do they get chosen over? So what is that like? I don't know.
And that is a perfect segue into my overarching major thing with this whole last few days and just as this last 4 years, whatever. It's just like say what you want about who's in this amount of this 48% that in that popular vote who's voting, but underneath all of this is hate. There are people who Donald Trump, you say he speaks to them. There's something about his speech. There is something about what he is saying that strikes the part of them they can't quite express correctly. But all they know is that they resonate with it and they're like, oh shit, that's it. And they don't want what they feel is their God-given right to be superior, to be taken away from them. And that's what they see when they see anybody other than Donald Trump. They feel that someone is taking away their whiteness. Like you say, shedding their whiteness or giving it up. They feel it's being stripped from them with anyone other than Donald Trump because they feel that strongly about their whiteness and what their whiteness represents. And I don't care what anybody says. Like, come at me, come fight me. Like, that's what's happening. Like,
come at me, bro.
That's what's happening here. And I don't want to like.
Ready.
I never want to like because and this is not. I want to say like I don't hate white people. I have white people that I love a whole lot.
So you have white friends. Please say you have white friends.
Oh, yeah, I have white friends. You know, I can count my white friends on one hand. No, so this is not a I hate white people like soapbox moment for me. But this is I'm gonna generalize y'all while you generalize us. So white people have decided that this is okay, and they do that because they're protecting their whiteness. They're people who vote the people voting for him, and still being nice people, presenting themselves in a nice way. They're nice guys. We like them. They're nice women. They're really cool. We went to school together. We have dinner together. We raised our kids together. But they went in that booth and voted against everything that protects you. So like that is scary to me. That concerns me. And that it all boils down to like we're not going to change until they realize you have got to give that up. You cannot continue to push that type of narrative. You cannot continue to let that be what drives our nation. It just can't because the future is not white. It's black and brown.
Because regardless of what they're saying, you're not voting for policy.
Correct.
With Donald Trump. You're not voting for policy. You listen to them debates that he did. There was no policy anything in that. It was full of spin, lies. You'd have thought Joe Biden was
Thank you so much.
Was debating with someone who worked at like the National Enquirer. He just wanted to just talk about that, but as racist and xenophobic and cruel-hearted as he was to the other and everyone else, and you're the economy is important to me.
My taxes, bitch. We know
you don't even make $400,000. You don't make $400,000. You've been working at that Krispy Kreme for the
Trump supporters I know in my life. Y'all not making $400,000. I know you not. Cut the shit. Like, and I hope you hear me. That's ridiculous.
The idea of the people who vote for him. It's just like, really? That's who you want to send your money, your vote towards because
like
he's protecting X, Y, and Z, and you claim it's because of the economy, but yet the economy things that he's doing doesn't help you. Like what?
Or he's not politically correct. Oh, so you like the fact
what you want.
That he can call
chaos.
A portion of the Latinx community breeders, or say that they're rapists and murderers, and they get to
he
go
can
back.
mock special needs people on live television.
Yes.
That's the kind of guy that you think is good to go.
There's got to be a montage of some of his worst moments. I don't know what 3 hours we have to make that happen, but I need to see it.
Or do you want it? You want him doing it, or what's the guy's name? White guy who replaced Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers has a probably minute long where he's listing all of the crazy shit, and then here are all his and then he said something about him. These are all the people that think that's okay, but he lists all of it's just a minute long, really rapid fire laying it out the worst of his shit for the last 4 years, and that the list continues. It's insane.
He's still every day he gives new material. That list has to be updated every single day. Every single day. Shout out to whoever's keeping track of that.
Yes, I'm overall like we're sitting here, we're watching this in real time, pod where we're watching things go down, and the biggest thing for me in the last few days has been that it should not be this close. I'm very, very much upset about how close this is.
When I saw the popular vote the first time, I was disgusted. I was like, so you mean to tell me that almost half of America feels that this dude makes sense and that he is the right, and I guess I have a different level of morals and values, as you would say, that I kind of hold what I would want someone to be in charge. I hold them to a different standard, and I just feel like there are just certain things that are just unacceptable. Now, because let's quick comparison, because when Bill Clinton was that his second term where he got caught with Monica. Okay, so but he cheated on her in the first term too, and that was the thing that they kind of swept under the rug or something like that.
It was his dealings with women, and the way he was like everybody's party boy. He was just fun time Bill hanging out.
Because my thing would have been had Bill Clinton had illegitimate relations with Monica Lewinsky without her consent. that would make me feel as a person who, if I was in his first term, who's going to run again, I then could not say, okay, I can vote for someone who I believe, rapes women and feels X, Y, and Z way, because the economy was really good when Bill Clinton was in office. Like, it grew for 8 consecutive years. We say, okay, well, that's fine. The last 4 years, his economy has been great. So I can overlook what he, did to that one girl because it was probably, her fault. What was she wearing? Versus,
what was she wearing?
You fast forward to now and you think about all the different things that Donald Trump has done and said and believes in, and the people that he is like empowering. And you mean to tell me that half of America can say, I mean, it happened, but did you die?
We didn't elect a pastor.
We didn't elect
a pastor.
But then they want to turn around and say that it's not racial, it's not this or that. No, it is. Because for 8 years, 10 even, they tried to find things on Barack Obama. And time prior to when he said, I'm going to run for president. From that point on, they tried to find everything they could on that man. And there is nothing. To this day, there is nothing. But here we are, 4 years of ongoing foolishness plus his lifetime of foolishness before he even fucking got to the White House. And y'all ignoring it. So it is a racial thing. So the black man had nothing, but you tried to find something. But the white guy has everything. Oh, it's okay. It's fine. So they want to be like, no, that's not, everything doesn't have to be that. Like, that's not what's happening. Okay, cool. All right.
It's double standards. That joker Obama had no scandals in it. Now, if you had policy differences with him, that's one thing. How he implemented different things, whatever. But he upheld the office, and then you see Donald Trump, and every single day it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, the only thing we didn't see was somebody driving through the White House, like just coming out going in one way, coming out another. Like, that's about the only thing we did not see happen at the fucking White House.
Yep.
The only reason we didn't see it is because they fired everybody that works in there. Someone caught it on tape.
That's true. That's true. You're right.
There's probably a bunch of NDAs floating around.
This is the world that we're living in. It's been crazy, and we really hope that by the time y'all hear this and listen to it, that the outcome has been what we all what we want, the 50%, not the 48. The 72 million. I hope that what we have prayed and pushed for has happened, because this can't be it. Like, we can't. This is not what we're gonna have.
It's not.
So not here for it.
Georgia is within 2,500.
Yes.
Pennsylvania is within 49,000. And meanwhile,
that came on down before.
Yep,
It's like
50 something. He was up by 600,000 the other night in Pennsylvania, and it is 48,854.
I imagine Donald Trump is probably at the house, and you remember when we were doing the whole the back and forth songs when the pandemic started, and I put in a little meme where the dude was riding a little
down the
stairs, going into the fire. That's exactly what it is, except it's on real slow motion.
I think we should do that again.
That was fun. That was
a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that was fun.
We'll do our battles. Yes. Shout out to all these celebrities that have been like jumping down Donald Trump's neck. That's also been fun for me to watch.
Like Lil Wayne?
Well, like jumping, no.
Not agreeing with him.
Like Lil
hating
Pump?
him. No.
Oh, okay.
No, those who have been anti him. I love that.
And not Brett Favre.
Brett Favre
or Jack Nicklaus.
He's very pro-Trump. I mean, he looks like he's pro-Trump.
He wrote a letter.
Right
before the election. He was just like, I have to vote for him. I don't want to see socialism in this country.
And that kind of rhetoric, that kind of fucking rhetoric. People, read I said it an hour ago. Education is key. You don't know shit about socialism. You think that's what's happening.
Brett Favre does not know.
He doesn't know what socialism
actually means.
Read your stuff. Like, reading is fundamental. I know the education system is bad, but like, go to the library. It's free.
One too many clunks in the head. Hey, to the rhetoric.
Not to the rhetoric.
To the rhetoric.
To the rhetoric.
To Joe Biden the rhetoric.
But I was like, these celebrities. The baby was here in North Carolina on Tuesday.
RP.
Yes, RP to his brother. Very, very sad.
The brother.
But he was here on Tuesday campaigning like a motherfucker. Niggas guys are terrible. Y'all are terrible. We're trying to like say something good, and that's what y'all do.
I just said the brother. He was campaigning in Charlotte.
He was here in Charlotte. He had a contract with Lyft on Tuesday.
Ooh.
It said ride with baby. So if you use that code, you got a free ride to the polls.
Did you get a ride?
I had already been to the polls. We knew this.
Gotcha.
But he was at, I want to say it was 5 different sites here in Charlotte that he was at, just campaigning and getting people out doing things.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Just cut in. Did they give you a ride back?
I imagine. From what I read, all you had to do was use the code. So
Y'all get left out there like them people at the Trump rally. I had to hike 3 miles up there just to see
in the cold.
In the cold to get COVID.
We can get you out there.
To my knowledge, all you had to do was use the code. That's all I got. I don't. But he was here
for one use. That's it.
How you want to use this?
That's why you ride with friends. Take a friend, and then somebody else do it on the way back. They've been telling you, take your buddy, your pole buddy. Take your pole buddy with
Everybody got a moving buddy.
Yes.
If you don't got a moving buddy,
need you vote?
Get
Nah,
one.
okay, come with me. I don't need to. Yeah, just come with me. I need your Uber. Come with me. Come with me.
So was the baby driving the lifts?
No, he was posted up at different locations. He was at Mallard Creek High School. He was at
that's
the library over on Beatty's Ford. He was at different places hanging out.
Gotcha.
Just pushing people out, handing out vote stuff and stickers and pins, all that kind of stuff.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
So I thought that was really, really cool of him to be out here. And they asked me, like, how did you find time? He's like, hey, if I got time, everybody else got time. I'm trying to help my city out. You know, so shout out to you, the baby. We appreciate it. I would never really shout you out for any other reason, but I will shout you out for that. That's what's up. I'll allow it. I like it. Where are we at?
What happened?
We are here. This is we thank y'all for sticking with us. We could not let this time go by without mentioning it. We did not want to let this stuff happen without us commentating on it. So
commentating.
Oh,
look at that! Look at that!
Look at Joe. Who?
Where is it at? Where, they
In
tied.
Georgia.
They damn near tied.
Pod World, wherever y'all live.
We're down to
is a tie.
2,000 vote.
But the same percentage.
It is a tie in Georgia right now.
Donald Trump is kicking somebody in their back right now.
Hard.
Donald Trump. Somebody pull up the Twitter. What do we have on the Twitter right now?
Let me see.
What is Donald Trump saying on Twitter right now?
He is looking for Melania because he's walked in her room and all he saw was a pile of pillows underneath the covers.
It's like the salon mannequin head.
He's like, babe. How long you said she been asleep? For 10 hours, sir. Babe.
Oh, he ain't said nothing since
she
he
takes
said
those
news
Ambiens.
conference at 6:30. But meanwhile, Donald Trump is currently trending. Is trending currently.
I want him to trend one more time as he's getting his ass up out of there.
We are calling on everyone right now. So wherever y'all let us know how y'all are celebrating. Y'all let us know what kind of parties you're having. Where y'all gonna be on January 20th? Okay. We stay speaking things into existence, and like I said, we hope things turn out the way that we want them. Let us know what y'all are doing, what y'all are thinking, what kind of fun y'all are having with all of this. And if you disagree, by all means, you know, 'cause we don't know who's listening out there.
Well, speaking of somebody that we've lost along the way,
God.
to the Rance Allen group and the Allen family, Mrs. Allen, son Allen. We see you. We thank you for your contributions to gospel music. Rance, oh God.
Yeah.
Was you toe up when you saw
That was very, very sad. That is a staple. That is a shit. For anyone who loves good old gospel music, that was very sad to hear during this time.
He was a miracle worker.
All I know is that I saw a younger picture of him, and I was like, I have never seen him young.
Yeah, he's been
old
yes.
like my whole
He
life.
looked about the same.
He did.
Yes.
He just had a little bit
Yes.
slimmer face and a little bit more brown with the white and grays.
He has always
was
looked
like,
the
this
same way
nigga's
for me.
always been
my
old.
whole life.
Shout out to, there is a lady, I used to go to John B. Keys church, that there's a lady that sings tenor in John B. Keys choir, looks just like Rance Allen.
Shut up.
Except her hair is red. I know she
Ooh.
is toe up somewhere. They probably was like, Kathy, did you get the news? Like, I wish y'all could see this lady, but anyway, I'm diverse. I digress.
No, that's fine. No, shout out to them, to their family.
Rance.
Our prayers to you guys, and Rance, thank you for for your voice. Thank you for your message.
Something about the name Jesus.
Yes, we love that. Ladies and gentlemen, this will probably conclude our grievances, our rant on all things America election 2020. Next time you hear from us, we'll be hopefully rejoicing and seeing what the hell is going on out there. But thank y'all for listening. Y'all keep the faith out there. Y'all stay safe. Wear your mask.
Nuts.com.
We're a mast. We're a mast.
This has been a bonus episode of Nights at the Round Table. This is your girl, Coley, who's leaving out with me.
This your boy Esquire. What's the count?
All I know is call me Georgia. If Georgia flip blue, call me Georgia.
Claude, I just need.
Naji also says goodbye. We love y'all out here at the round table. Y'all be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Biden Harris 2020. We out.
Oh.
Wow, wow.